What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Thoughts.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
Welcome to the show.
What is going on? Happy Monday, everybody. So if you're tuning in to the show, Monday and Tuesday are our topics. Wednesday, we do a discussion. Thursdays, we do the Ask Us SP, which I actually did do one this past weekend. So it will be up this Thursday with Alex Worsham. So look forward to that one. And then Friday, we talk about everything else, right? So we talk about movies, books, TV shows, just whatever we've been getting into. So definitely tune in for all of those. Without further ado, I give it to LeVon.
Yes, sir. Today we have an article from cnet.com, and this is from Corin Reichert and Mary King. And this article is basically the FBI is warning athletes not to take their phones to Olympics due to security fears. And obviously, we know that the Olympics this year, for the Winter Olympics anyway, is being held in China. There were some issues with the U.S. Representatives not making it out there, but trying to basically kind of protest against some of the humanitarian abuses that I'm sorry, I can't speak today, but the abuses that China's doing against some of the people over there, trying to boycotting some of the human violations that they're taking a part of in China. So, but nonetheless, we have U.S. athletes out there, and the FBI is basically telling them to basically bring burner phones with them so that they don't have to use their actual phones, and basically limit their risk to cyber attacks. These activities include distributed denial of service attacks, ransomware, malware, social engineering, data theft and leaks, phishing campaigns, disinformation campaigns, and insider threats. And basically, obviously bringing your personal phone out there, connecting it to the towers. I'm sure that there's ways for them to tell, like, this phone is coming from coming from the U.S. It's actually trying to connect back to the States for whatever reason. And they can use that as a method to potentially identify the phone and execute some attacks to it. So, essentially it's pretty straightforward, but they want to make sure that the U.S. Team is reducing their risk as much as possible by not bringing their phones. And it's kind of like it's kind of a typical thing that we've talked about before about, traveling to countries that may be known for some maybe hackery, some bad actors,
some cyber espionage type
right.
stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Cyber espionage. So it's good to have maybe an extra phone if you can. I mean, you can purchase them at various locations to use for these kind of reasons if you're on a trip like that. But nonetheless, it's something that the FBI is actually taking note of, and they want to make sure they protect the U.S. citizens that are out there, and make sure they don't bring anything back, or I don't know, especially if they have access to some sensitive information themselves, especially if they're even people that work for the Olympics committees or work for the teams themselves. They may have access to the rosters and maybe even some social security numbers and things like that may tie back to other athletes, and I don't know, who knows what they'll do with that information if they were able to get a hold of it. But that's pretty much just this article. But I'll turn it over to you, Shannon. What you think about this one?
So here's the thing. So I get what they're aiming for, but I think they missed the mark here, right? And I think they missed the mark because what's to say you can't perform those functions and still get your information stolen, or you get hacked by doing it on a burner phone? Even if I have a burner phone, if I'm going to log into my Facebook, I'm going to log into my banking information or do whatever, you can still get it from the burner phone, right? Doesn't make any difference. It's still connecting to a foreign tower, right? That they more than likely are going to collect that information from. To me, it doesn't do anything to bring the burner phone. They should be telling them to be cautious about what they log into while they're there. That is the more important thing in my eyes, right? Now maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe if you got a burner phone, maybe this is why they're so popular in the underworld and on all the movies I watch. Right? I never had a burner phone, so I don't know. You know, I ain't never, I ain't never had to cheat on my wife or deliver meth to anybody to where I need a burner phone. Right? But so for me, I don't get how this really helps. And like when I was looking into this article, I actually looked into the pin they call it, which is the message they send out to the public, the FBI sends out to the public. And I thought maybe they would reference that in the pin, but no, it says the same type of stuff it says in the story here. And I'm like, I just think we're missing the boat. Like you should be telling them, hey, especially with a crowd of Olympians, right? Because these are young people in their athletic prime that are on social media all the time. This is a ripe demographic for them to get into and be like, hey, let's sow some dissension or do some disinformation. You know what I mean? Some misinformation. This is the group you want to hit, right? I just think they missed the mark on it. But Ryan, what's your take on this, man?
Yeah, I felt like maybe there was an attachment or something we didn't get with the news, because you're exactly right, right? If you just use the same applications on the burner, you're gonna have the same issues. You won't bring the whatever malware back with you, because you'll destroy or turn that phone in before you start using your own phone. But yeah, any application that you use is susceptible to man in the middle or keystroke logger or anything like that, right? So I think that they have also told them like stay off all your accounts as well, right? Like this phone is for you to call home, and that's it. Um, I feel the same way whenever I do travel. Like, so I haven't traveled in a couple of years now, like really traveled, right? Because of COVID. But I used to not use my phone. I would just use the government phone. I'm like, well, if they get that, they get that, right? And on government phone, I didn't have any applications. I couldn't Facebook or Instagram or any of that stuff. It was just to make phone calls. I wasn't doing any banking transactions or anything like that, right? Because like you said, it defeats the purpose. Like you're more concerned about you hit a fake tower and they drop something on the phone and bringing it back home, or using, like you said, using an application where they can start pulling that information and what have you. Um, so you would think it would just like literally be a phone with two icons on it. Like you can text and you can call and that's it. Um, Even that's kind of unsafe, but at least you have a lifeline in case it goes down or something, right? Um, so yeah, so it was kind of weird. I was like, so why are they bringing this phone as opposed to their phone? Because if you're doing the same thing, you just won't bring malware back home, which is good, because you don't know what's being dropped on your phone. But yeah, like you said, if you're using the same applications, it makes no difference. It's kind of strange. And then with the disinformation, I mean, like there's nothing you can. The phone is the portal to the internet. So like, yeah, they could be dropping articles saying how bad America is and how uh, like the SNL skit you showed me, where they're like Russian troops are like complaining about the border encroaching on them or something like that. There's nothing you can really do about that, right? Like that's just whatever you'll see from their lens and their filter on that side of the world. So it was kind of weird, kind of suspicious. That's why I'm like, there's something missing. Like maybe they got a briefing when they got off the plane. Like, hey, don't use nothing. Like this is to call us in case it goes down.
But it didn't mention it in the pin. I'm trying to remember what the pin stood for. Pin was private industry notification from the FBI. Like I read it and I was like, okay, I definitely missed something. It is pretty much the same summary of what is in that article. It does not say,
Hmm.
do not go to these places or do anything like that. Because I was of the same thinking you were, right? But that's not to say that they aren't getting a briefing like you were talking about, though, right? Like they could be getting some type of briefing to where it's more expansive on what they put out there in print for the public.
Right.
Maybe I don't know,
Right.
but that
I,
doesn't,
I would assume.
that doesn't seem like something that needs to be held secret, though, right? Just say, okay, don't do this. Like it shouldn't be, government secret that hey, and we're also going to tell you this without putting it in print. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, when you get your foreign clearance guide, right, and you read through that, it kind of tells you the things to look out for. Then you used to get a briefing from the security manager, whomever. So maybe I don't know. I can't really speculate, but maybe they're like, we said that to get them to do X. Here's your real burner. Like it just has one icon. It's just a phone icon. Just push the button if you need to call us. I honestly don't know, but that is kind of weird. But I mean, it is a good rule of thumb, but they should have gone into more detail. You are correct. The burner is only a piece of it. You also need to be careful what you access. But very true, very true, very interesting, man. Like the world is crazy. Like we're not necessarily scared of their physical security, to my knowledge, but we are scared about the ransomware and the cyber attacks and all that stuff. 450 million is what they estimate during the 2020 Olympics. I forget.
The Olympics were 2020, but they did them in 2021, right? It was
Right. Yeah. That always throws me off because COVID shifted the schedule. But 450 is the estimate of the attacks. So definitely need to be on the lookout for that. And it is kind of troublesome. But we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see what the stats look like when they come back, right? So with that being said, please tune in to the rest of this week. It's going to be a full week episode every day, Monday through Friday. Hit up the website, www.theothersideofirewall.com. Get to our social medias. You can hit me up personally. I am at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, TikTok, and Twitter. And you, LeVon?
Yes, sir. You can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.